All right. Good morning, Shari. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm well, thank you.
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining me early this morning so we could talk a little bit about your experience. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor. I understand that the firm that you were working for, um, the attorney has retired. So why don't we talk a little bit about what you did at that position?
Okay. We did PIP cases, and I would prepare and file a lot of paperwork for individual attorneys, and then I would also file it with the clerk of the court. So I can do that online also. Um,
So what did a day look like? Like when you got into the office, what was the first thing that you worked on?
um, I would usually go in and we would have the computer set up with cases that were downloaded into the system where we
Mhm.
could go in and I would actually put the case file into the computer, put all the information for it in there. I would start preparing the paperwork for each case.
Mhm.
I would I'm sorry, I don't know where my words are this morning.
That's okay. Sometimes when we record it, it's a little awkward. It's not something natural, but quite all right. Well, I've got your resume here in front of me. So, um, you were doing demand letters as well?
Yes, I did demand letters. We worked up Excel sheets with amounts on them.
Like
Uh,
the billing amounts that you were going to bill?
right.
Okay, so you were entering all of that information.
Yes.
Tell me how you managed like the cases along. So were you doing a certain portion of it to get it to a case manager? Like how was it a big office?
We had about 16 people in there. It was our small DeLand office. I think the office in Orlando was a lot bigger,
Okay.
but it was decent sized.
Okay. Now,
Um,
and so were you managing the case or were you sending that on to a case manager?
no, we eventually sent it on to the next person.
Okay. Who did all of the medical records? Was there someone that did that or is that something you helped with?
Somebody else did medical records. They
Okay.
sent it from the Orlando office to us. That's one of the things they would put in the files on the computer, and then we would use that to open the cases. And we started them. So
Okay.
we would open the whole case and put all the information in there and file it with the clerk of the court and just follow through and then send it to the case manager.
Okay. And then, as far as like the property damage claims, was that someone else that was managing those, or was that something that you worked on?
Uh, no, we didn't really handle a lot of them because, like I said, we were starting all the paperwork
Mhm.
and all that.
Okay. So, if you were to do something in property damage, you would be speaking um, with offices, you'd be speaking with clients and such. How do you feel about doing any type of phone work, inbound or outbound?
I'm fine with either way. I've worked on the phone a lot, so that's not an issue.
All right. And about how long were you at the firm?
I was there about 3 years,
Okay.
and the job before that I was at for 4 years.
Okay. And that was the county
County
court
court mediation.
mediation. Okay. And what did you do there?
I was the office manager. I ran the day to day everything, and I was also a mediator.
Oh, okay. All right. And so what about your computer experience? I heard you mention Excel. Um, when we first started talking.
Right.
What type of work did you do in Excel?
Um, Mainly spreadsheets. I mean, I can use all of the different properties of Word.
So if you had to like download something and maybe put it into a PDF, is that something you feel comfortable doing?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then tell me a little bit about your degree. Let's see here. It looks like you have your Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
I went back to school later in life
Okay,
after I was raising my 4 kids and ended up divorced. So I went back to school and got several AAs and ASs and then got my bachelor's.
okay, great. Um, how about multitasking? Can you give me an example where you have successfully multitasked? It could be an example from your last job or from the current position that you're doing.
I was going to say the one here gets a little crazy. So multitasking is a constant thing. There's usually somebody coming in the office and phones are ringing. I'm the only one here, so I get it all done.
Yeah, okay. I understand that. And then as far as availability, are you available to work a Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 o'clock shift?
Yes. In fact, I
Okay.
would love it. I work 9 to 4 right now, and it just doesn't feel like it's enough.
Okay. And then about like appointments and such. I know this is probably a little bit of a strange question, but when you're like looking back at the last year, do you feel that um, your attendance was good? Were you
Oh,
able to
yeah.
come to work every day? Do you have anything that prevents you from coming into
No,
work?
the only thing I usually do is go to the doctor once every 6 months. So I'm
And
good.
that's of course in advance.
Right.
Okay, and you have reliable transportation. We
Yes.
talked about all that. All right, well, great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop this part of the recording, but don't go anywhere. We got a few more things to talk about.
Okay.